So, here's another GC. And I think at this point we all know my opinions on GCs. But it has to be done, because if I get some notable points from this, then I will get my World Championship invite. Currently at 782 championship points. It's probably going to be around 800 and something to come top 75 in Europe at the end of the season. So if I get some championship points, I will break into the 800s and I will almost certainly get my invite. So I kind of have to do this. But I don't like playing the GC, and I want to play it for the shortest amount of time possible, and that is why I've got this super hyper offensive team. So I just want to win the game super quick, or lose the game super quick. So Choice Specs Astral Barrage with Terra Ghost, and then potentially with Helping Hand as well, just clears the field. And then the games can be over in 2 or 3 turns, which is quite nice. This is why I've gone with the Calyrex Shadow Rider. I knew I wanted Helping Hands with it, because then you just get all the KOs, so I needed that somewhere, and I wanted Follow Me with the Helping Hands so that I can protect the Calyrex, because it is a very frail one. So Ogerpon stood out to me by getting Follow Me and Helping Hands, because Ivy Cudgel will cover things like Incineroars, gets Taunt as well, so I can stop Trick Room. If Trick Room goes up, I probably lose, but that's fine. So yeah. Calyrex and Ogerpon was the starting point. I wanted Feint because the main thing of this is Astral Barrage. So Sneasler found its way onto the team because Fake Out and Feint is a really good combination. And then I get a fighting type to help out with the normal types and the dark types that would be resisting Astral Barrage. Having 2 fighting types is a good idea when you have Specs Astral Barrage, so there's an Urshifu as well. Chien-Pao helps out the Urshifu and the Sneasler and the Ogerpon. And it was on a team, Carl Livinghouse used Life Orb Chien-Pao. Because the Focus Sash is taken on the Sneasler, it has to be Focus Sash on the Sneasler. So I'm trying out the Life Orb version. And then Regieleki can give me extra speed control that's faster than opposing Calyrex, that will give me hopefully an edge in that matchup. And you can also go for Explosion next to your Ghost-type Calyrex. So again, you can clear the field with just Choice Band Explosion or Choice Specs Astral Barrage, and then hopefully you've won or lost in a couple of turns. Much more preferably, won in a few turns. Let's see how that goes. And here we go. Ooh, mid-1500s guy to start off with. We'll take that. And that's a Zamazenta. Okay. With Psy Spam, they have 2 potential Wide Guarders, so I'm inclined to go with my Sneasler, even though they do have Psy Spam stuff. But if I go with my Sneasler and then they go with Urshifu and then they switch into Indeedee, there's nothing I can do to stop the Choice Scarf Surging Strikes in the rain. So I'll need to be mindful of that. I can't safely go without the Sneasler because of the double Wide Guards. But I think I'm still going to go Sneasler and Calyrex. It is a choice band Regieleki, so it is not very good against the Zamazenta. I do want to make use of their rain, potentially, with the Urshifu. And my Chien-Pao doesn't have Sacred Sword, so it's not very good against Zamazenta. So I will need to rely on my Calyrex and my Urshifu to be able to break through it. And obviously Ogerpon doesn't deal with it very well either. Yeah, I do need to be careful at Zamazenta. I'm going to go with... yeah, this to help a little bit with Psy Spam. But I only have 1 special attacker, which is something I recommend people do not do in team building. I tend to try and have at least 4-2 split of physical attack and special attack, because if you overload on one of them, and then you face something like, that's not a cool trainer card, if you face something like defense boost and you have physical attackers, then oh no, and if you face something like Calm Mind and you have only special attackers, oh no. But that is just Psy Spam. Okay. Cool. So I can deal with the Iron Crown, but then if they get Trick Room up, then I'm not in a good position. And they're not particularly threatening my special attack. Okay. They're not particularly threatening my Calyrex at the moment. There is the Psychic Seed. So I can go for Psy Shock in close combat and KO the Indeedee, and then that stops Trick Room. Would Expanding Force and close combat get the Indeedee? I think I would need to Terra Stella to be able to do that. Psy Shock and close combat without any Terra should be able to do it. But then if I've Psy Shocked, then I'm not doing that well against the Zamazenta because I'm locked into a quote-unquote physical attack. But then I get my special attack boost to counteract it. So then it wouldn't be the worst thing. So let's go for close combat and Psyshock here, I think. I'd be surprised if this does not get a KO. And here's maybe a Terra Normal on the Iron Crown. That would be appreciated. That's a bit more iffy, because that could be a Terra Blast. And if that's a Terra Blast, then oh no. They did just go for Follow Me, so that's fair enough. So I think overall I've made the correct play on this turn. That should be enough, right? Sneeze is pretty strong. Don't be Rocky Helmet, please. But at least with the Terra Dark, now my Sneasler will be able to just Oko this Iron Crown. And there is the Terra Blast, okay. So that's not the most ideal, but I can manage with that. Because now I can go into my Urshifu, for sure. And then if they go into Zamazenta, they can't Terra Dragon anymore. And there's their Urshifu, which is assumedly Scarf. No, this is not a good position now, is it? Because they can Expanding Force, for sure. Yeah, things aren't looking good. I'm going to attempt close combat in case they are not. Yeah, I think I have to lock into close combat now. Yeah, I don't like this. Because Surging Strikes will KO my Sneasler, most likely. Because you have to have a reasonable amount of investment in defense, and I chose not to. That's already going to come back to bite me. You only need like 92 defense, and I chose to sacrifice that. Oh, but they... Ooh, no, that looked like for a sec they were going for the Urshifu. Oh, but my defensive investment wouldn't have mattered because I had close... Yeah, because I don't have Sacred Sword, so this isn't going to work. That Terra Dark Terra Blast has kind of screwed me up. Because if I'd have just kept my Calyrex, there was nothing they could do to KO the Calyrex except the Terra Dark Terra Blast. But of course this is the GC, so I'm going to get GC. Don't see much I can do now. Although they've looked into Surging Strikes. But then with my Chien-Pao helping them out, then they should be able to KO my Urshifu. Unless it... I think I need it to be a speed tie so that I don't get my defense drop on this turn. And then I get the close combat and hopefully Terra Dark Crunch KOs Zamazenta. I think it should with, like, Chien-Pao helping the Urshifu. No, that's no chance. Yeah, Zamazenta's too bulky. And that's not quite going to get me. I don't think it matters at this point. Unless Crunch crits the Zamazenta, I think. Crunch crit could do it. Not quite. That is a shame. Starting off with a loss is obviously not ideal, but there's not much that can be done now. So I will just, like I said, I want to win or lose as quickly as possible, so I'll just forfeit, because there is definitely no way back into this game. But the Terra Dark Terra Blast was the thing that screwed me up, because if I'd have been able to keep my Calyrex, then I'd have been fine. If I'd have close combated... No, I was going to say close combat the Iron Crown, but that wouldn't make a difference, because they won't follow me. Astral Barrage wouldn't have done anything there. So yeah, I think that's just the surprise factor of the Terra Dark Terra Blast. And very little could have been done. I needed to lead differently, I guess. Because if I'd have led with the Ogerpon, then I'd have been able to follow me and keep my Calyrex. But alas. That's what you're supposed to do in Best of 1, right? Catch people out. Now we're against a fellow 1400s guy. With, oh yeah, Heatran, let's go. Represent. Okay. So, because they have Whimsicott, they're going to be able to most likely get the speed control against me. I don't know how fast the Groudon's going to be, because Regieleki has the opportunity to outspeed everything on the team, apart from Ogerpon and Whimsicott, if they're in the Tailwind. So I could still just go for the Explosion. But then that doesn't really work if they leave Groudon and they just go for Precipice Blades. So... I think I want Sneasler and Calyrex here. Not sure Urshifu's worth it. I think the Ogerpon is, but I don't have a grass move to hit the Groudon. I think the Champow's probably still worth it. Don't think Regieleki is. And it's between Urshifu and Ogerpon then. Let's go with Ogerpon. Feels a bit weird to bring Urshifu in the sun. Don't know if they have Covert Cloak or Focus Sash on the Whimsicott yet. We will find out. Would my Specs Astral Barrage without a Terra be able to OHKO the Whimsicott? I know that Terra Ghost definitely will. But the most ideal situation, I think, would be if they have Focus Sash. I fake out, not the Whimsicott, and Astral Barrage bring them to Sash, and then I faint next turn, so they can't do any other prankster stuff. That's a cool trainer card. That's pretty good for me, I think. I believe I do just go for the Terra Ghost. If they are not Assault Vest, I reckon I can get them. So I'm going to fake out to stop any Thunderclaps, and I'm just going to blast away. If they double protect here, that's very sad, because I have access to Feint. But then that would mean that the Raging Bolt is not Assault Vest, and also potentially is going to drop to the Astral Barrage. It's more likely that the Raging Bolt is Assault Vest than the Groudon, right? Although Assault Vest is entirely reasonable on both of them. And I'd be very surprised if neither of them are Assault Vest. But to be fair, Life Orb on the Raging Bolt and Clear Ambient on the Groudon is also entirely reasonable. But there is a Terra straight away. Here comes the random Terra Normals that I'm going to see in this GC run. Nope, it's Terra Fairy. No idea why. That made no sense to me at all. But fine. Yep, no protects. No Assault Vests, please. Okay, the Raging Bolt's the Assault Vest, but that's fine. This is what the team's supposed to do. Just blast through with Astral Barrage and then I win. So yeah, that was a very weird Terra. I don't understand what that was for. Maybe a Terra Fairy Draining Kit? Oh yeah, the game's over. Because Heatran drops as well. So let's just make sure that you actually go down. Thunderclap Crit will not get me because they're not Terra Electric. Yeah, the game's over. That's what I want. This is what I want in this GC run. Just win or lose super quick. But hopefully win more than lose. Win enough to get some championship points. Because if I get any kind of reasonable championship points, then I almost certainly have my World Championship invite. If I finish the top 32, which is very rare, I finished just outside the top 32 in my good run earlier this season, then I would get the World Championship invite, I think, just straight up. Because if I get 120 championship points, I break into the low 900s of championship points. And there's a 1500s guy. Opposing Calyrex with a Mimikyu and Weezing. Okay. What do I do against that? I can Electro with my Regieleki. And that would break the Disguise and Mimikyu as well. Here with this. I do want this. I think I want Urshifu as well. Yeah, that seems fine. This is going to be like weakness policy Calyrex where you shadow sneak yourself. I'm also wondering how many Terra Normal Calyrexes I will face. I'm going to face all of them being Terra Normal just because I'm running Calyrex. Like that's just how it works. If you're running Shadow Rider, then everything is Terra Normal. But the reason behind that is because you wouldn't see the random Terra Normals when you're not using Calyrex. And then they start to appear because that's the counter to the Calyrex. So it does make sense that you start seeing the random Terra Normals because they are there, you just don't see them normally. Ooh, if they're getting low on time, keep an eye. It looked like they timed out there, so if they leave with Clefairy and Calyrex, I am going to assume they are Urshifu and Mimikyu in the back. That's not a cool trainer card. Okay, they did not time out it, you see. However, this looks pretty sweet for me. So long as they are not Terra Normal Mimikyu, I can go for Electro Web and Astro Barrage, and does a Mimikyu Oko my Calyrex with Shadow Sneak? Do I need to Terra? I'll definitely go for Electro Web. So if I use my Terra and then they're randomly Terra Normal and click Trick Room, I lose. But that's the game we're playing. I'm going to Terra to avoid a Shadow Sneak KO. Because Regieleki outspeeds even Scarf Urshifu. So long as there is not Terra Normal on the Mimikyu, this is a good start. Okay, this is good. Just not Terra Normal on Mimikyu. That's Clefairy. I recognise that one. Don't be Terra Normal. Like I said, there's going to be so many Terra Normals that I'm going to lose to. Nope, okay, that is perfectly fine. Do you reckon Clefairy lives this? It should do, right? It's got Eviolite. It's going to get a little chip from Electro Web. But it's not going to be much because I'm a physical Regieleki. I reckon Clefairy survives that. Could be close. Okay, Calyrex is just too strong. Cool. So this is still a very good position, so long as there is not a random Terra Normal. And that's just how this GC run's going to go. Is there random Terra Normal? Assumedly they have Calyrex in the back, so I will just sweep if Electro Webs connects and no Terra Normals, right? So I outspeed even Scarf Urshifu. That can't stop me. I mean, it wouldn't be that much of a debate for them to go for Terra Normal right now, right? Like, now they're going for Terra. And this is now going to be the Terra Normal. Oh, no, it's Urshifu. Yeah, that that doesn't work out. So long as Electro Web connects, I just win. That's also not going to do it. Ah, Shadow Sneak as well. I understand. I understand. Fair enough. I'm not sure that was going to KO without the crit. So, that's obviously changed things quite significantly. However, I still think this is perfectly fine. So I can just go into Urshifu, and I can Surging Strikes the Mimikyu, and switch into Chien-Pao to get assistance to definitely KO the Mimikyu. Because I'm not confident I would otherwise. But then, with Electro Web's help, surely I do. Yeah, that should be fine. Will Aqua Jet and Shadow Sneak get the Regieleki? That's going to be close. That's not going to do it. And so with that tiny bit of bulk that I put into the Regieleki, it will not do it. My spreads are still God tier. And I believe there is nothing they can do now. If they have the Calyrex waiting in the back, I have got them pinned with Sucker Punch. So I just switch the Regieleki into Chien-Pao and Surging Strikes, and if that doesn't KO, then they cannot KO both my Chien-Pao and Urshifu in one go. And then I will have them pinned with Sucker Punch / Surging Strikes with whichever one survives, and even if not, then I can still rely on the 95% accurate Electro Web afterwards. So, that should be all good. I do wonder if the crit mattered. Help the algorithm and put in the comments if the crit mattered. So let someone go and do the calc of Mimikyu Shadow Sneak against Terra Ghost. Terra Ghost Calyrex. But as far as I can see, this is now guaranteed. So it's not quite going to get it, is it? But it shouldn't matter. Oh, it might. Oh, nice. It speeds it up by a 10. Thank you very much, Urshifu. So there we go. Now I'm in the positives. Win or lose quickly. This is a, what, 20-minute episode? So usually they're about half an hour. So there we go. Win or lose quickly. That's how this run's going to go.